So these two gentlemen right here, Robert and Roberto, I had an opportunity to meet them both last night, and granted we only chatted for a couple of moments, but one of the things that was really clear is these two men have come together because they're on a mission. Yeah, and they'll talk more about that. They're CEOs of Gaia Association, which was founded in 2011 in Austria, and they now have 2,500 members today of this organization, which is pretty impressive. One of these gentlemen has consulting experience in high tech, creating ionized radiation facilities from scratch to concept, doing business case simulations to fundraising, from a variety of different investors in also government and EU grants. So these two gentlemen help inventors with ambitious R&D projects, so very much like the projects that we've been talking about this morning so far. Develop these ideas into prototypes, getting those that are in need to actually have access to these technologies as well, and work to enter into the market, so basically to try to get these technologies into the market as well. But the other part of it, as we work as well, because this is something that we do on a daily basis with our organization, is to try to help these people maintain their independence, right? The people that you work with. So these are what I would say, these are different people that have come to the new energy technology scene with a different value system inside. And these are the types of things that are very much needed. So one of the things that they said is the amount of scientific information we've discovered in the last 20 to 30 years is more than all the discoveries up to that point. So without further ado, Robert and Roberto from Gaia.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah, Susan, thank you very much. I don't see her anymore. She's gone over there. So first of all, thank you very much that we are invited here, that we have the opportunity to speak in front of you here. And yeah, I would like to say, let's start.
We have to do something. There is an internal thing going on. Sorry?
Sound?
Sound? Is everything okay? The mic is off. Mic's off?
Too bad.
I can speak louder.
No.
Let's try that. Will it be okay for a live stream? Or
Robert, can you help us with the sound? Here?
In between, has anybody birthday today?
Really?
There we go, look at it.
Thank
Robert. The wolf, the whisperer.
Thank you.
So happy birthday to you. We arrived yesterday and learned that every day is a birthday, so today some birthdays as well. Happy birthday.
Let's start, huh?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon on the live stream here in the audience. Thank you for having invited us, and we need urgently to clarify one thing at the very early. This is, okay, starting. This is me, Roberto is me, Robert is him. Okay. That's important. I need to read that to be clear. Between what we think and what we want to tell you, what we believe we tell you, and what we really tell you, and what you want to understand, what you really understand, and what you think you do understand, you really understood.
There are 8 ways to not understand each other. And that's exactly what we want to point out here, the differences between an inventor and an investor. They need to be bridged to each other. They do not understand each other naturally. They are speaking 2 languages. They need an interpreter. And that's what we are doing here.
Yeah, but however, we try. Oh, sorry. So we press the button.
Yeah, all of us knows And that's nothing we have to explain on a long way. All of us knows we need better energy solutions today. All of us knows, you have to click, give it to me.
Yes, of course.
It's maybe
below.
easier. So,
The other one.
sorry, I'm going back. We are the first time here, so please excuse the small things. Yeah. All of us knows that we need better energy solutions. We need to be fossil-free. That's nothing new. We need to be emission-free, and all of us want to have a cleaner world and functioning things here, and all that needs to be implemented now. We do not have the time to waste anymore. And what is very important, and what we always try to communicate, these solutions are existing. They just need to be helped to reach the market. They are already there. And yeah, that's our mission. And Roberto?
Yes. The thing is, it depends on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not only that we are the one we are waiting for, it's also that we are the one that are most curious about. Shall we believe in the new things? Are there really new things? Can we trust in new things? Are there technologies we can rely on? Because everybody of us plays different roles in his life. Some of us are husbands. Some of us are fathers. Some of us are businessmen. And all these roles end up in different responsibilities. And that's why it's critical if you change something very fundamental. And personally, me, I consider new energy, decentral free energy is something fundamental we would like to change. But in that scene, it's a matter about trust. So if you're a responsible person and you just trust an idea, that won't work. You need to build that trust in a long way. You need to establish that. And establishing things mean to take risks. Will risks be able to match in that picture? I don't know.
What is very important also from our point of view, you cannot lay back and say, no, it's not working, it's impossible. I mean, all that is based on knowledge that is 100 years old. I mean, what we learned in school is the knowledge, yeah, that is 100 years old. And we have a very nice slide here. The amount of scientific information, and Susan mentioned it already, we have discovered in the last 20, 30 years already, only, is more than all discoveries up to that point from the beginning of language. I mean, you have to read that twice and to understand. The world is turning faster every day. The communication is going faster every day. So there is nothing, definitely nothing, you can 100% be convinced and tell somebody it's impossible, it don't work. You do not have the knowledge. All of us do not have the knowledge because we still do not have discovered everything. And yeah, this speed, we have to try to catch up on this speed and stay curious. Go ahead and, yeah, enlightenment results from exploring the unknown. We have to stay curious and be brave enough to continue. So, and yeah, that's just the result of it. I mean,
yeah, and someone it's like, yeah, we still burn candles and we look for electric light, but of course we have to step beyond. We have to step behind the table. If everything we know, we just had an interview above, and I was saying that as well. If you put everything you know on a table, and you allow yourself to be curious and look on the opposite side, and take the other position and watch it from that perspective, then something possibly can change. But if you remain on your place, you'll stuck.
Don't be only brave, be open. Accept things, or just leave it open that things could work even if you don't understand it. I mean, inventors, they are existing, they are real, they are there. And the money to realize these things is also there. definitely it's existing. And I'm sorry, but where are our notes?
Over there.
Over, okay.
And inside. And inside. Let me go. We placed that slides very fast. Or we played that slides very fast. But let's verify. Let's try to verify one thing. If you're an inventor, you live in your own galaxy. Let me say like that. You've born your baby, you took care for your baby, you believe in your baby, and you know you made it. And then somebody comes from the other side and says, okay, well, more or less nice, prove it. And you have to partner somehow. You are, as an inventor, you're more or less the emotional guy. You're the believer. And the other one is the guy that say, hey, you want something from me, you maybe want my money, you maybe want my support, you may that I put my name on some product, that we roll out something, so I need to be sure on my side as well. So the position, that's why it's also good that we can be both on stage. If an inventor and an investor talk together, they talk in an entirely different language, even if they say the same. Because they mean different things while saying them. And this is the bridge we are trying to build since 8 years. This is the real thing behind, to translate between both worlds, to get these real inventions to the real market. And I believe we have prepared some slides from some inventions we did, and before we would like to describe a typical inventor's mentality. Could you please open the short movie? Thank you. Because from our point of view, a typical inventor is somebody who builds the plane while he's
on the way down.
And this is totally different from every investor, totally different. He had the plane before he even thought to start. And so the inventors, as I said, are the emotional people. They put all their hopes on their babies, on their devices.
Against all obstacles.
Exactly, exactly. They did not follow the known rules. They have been open-minded. And the next slide we show why they are doing that. We discover a lot of time that inventors have some difficulties with their social environments because they are different. They have another picture in the head. So they envision, as we write, a brighter future. They have it inside already. And they never do something out of frustration, but always of hope. And as long the goal is hope, they try and error, and finally some make it, you know? And some of those who made it, we met. And in all these conversations we had, we saw nothing was developed overnight, nothing. Some processes even took decades.
Most of them. From the idea till first prototype, a decade is nothing.
Yeah. And everybody of us also will understand a decade costs a lot of money. So these people are usually burned out somehow. Usually. There are difference. I think, no, if I click, we should see some inventors next.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell a little bit about these things we've been discovering in the last 6-7 years.
We have visited so many inventors, and yeah, the story is like Roberto just explained. It's always the same. It takes decades, and they have an idea in mind. They build something. It don't works. smash it, build a new one. And also don't works, but it's a little bit better than the first one. Throw it away, build a third one. Also don't works, but it's a little bit better than this one, or the first two. So it's a constant try and error process. That's how inventions are developed, all of them. Nobody wakes up in the night and said, hey, that's the thing how I should do it, and next morning the invention is finished.
Usually it don't go like that, yeah.
Okay, maybe Nikola Tesla did that, I don't know, but usually the inventors that we met, no, they need some time, and it's always a try and error process. And we met so many guys, this was in Serbia, a generator, a flywheel generator.
Yeah, flywheel,
we inspected a lot of things. Unfortunately, the inventors, let's put away the guys who are trying to optimize something that is not working yet. We are usually meeting inventors who have something but are limited in their possibilities. So they have a job and they have to feed the family, of course, and they are putting everything what they have into their inventions, and usually they spend all their money and also the money of the family and of the friends and of the neighbors. So they are really broke because they put everything in, and sometimes it happens, and this is a very nice sample. It's a really nice guy, I don't know, 70, 75 years old.
Was an old man, yeah.
Older man, and has already developed also some patents, and he was there with a flywheel generator, and I was visiting him, saw something, it looks like it works, but I could not measure it, and I asked some colleagues and engineers from us to come there and measure it also, and we really investigate in that what he has there, and discovered, unfortunately, he do not has over unity, he's making minus 20%. But not because he wants to cheat, only because he do not has the right tools to measure. So, and that is a very often story that we discover.
That's a common thing. That's a common thing. Because of the lack of money, because of the lack of professional R&D processes, usually you do not use professional measurement systems, you just take the consumer things. And these consumer things are related on tolerances. And these tolerances sometimes make it or don't make it, you know? And it's enough for the household, but sometimes not enough for these processes.
Yeah.
That's actually also one you can say something?
There's nothing to say about it. Same thing we discovered in South America. Very nice guy. I was traveling to Colombia to look at the device, and he was very proud about it, and also this guy was around 70s, and his mother was there, and the neighbors was also there, and he was so proud. He's selling now his technology to Germany, and it took us about 3 minutes to learn it don't works. So that was a really disappointing thing, but he do not call me with the intention to cheat. Definitely not. Now, you see it on his face. He was so proud, but he still do not have the possibilities, could not afford measurement systems to check in advance, is the thing really over unity or not?
So if anybody does believe the job we are doing is nice, no, sometimes it's not. Because you're destroying ideas, you're destroying things that people have been working for, decades, as we say.
Okay, but the red wine and the meat in Colombia was fantastic. It's not all bad.
Okay, that one, you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is a device to test some hydrogen. It's from Southeast Asia, and one of the inventions that are very promising. This guy is able to produce hydrogen for a price of 20, 30 cents per kilogram. Very interesting. No energy involved, no electricity, no power. It's a pure chemical process.
It's an off-grid system. Huh?
Off-grid system, pure chemical process, and producing 97% of hydrogen without any filters. Very clean, very interesting. He's still in the process to protect his IP. He has applied for a patent for the first one, and he will add some other ones. But this invention is very promising for the future of all of us, and will come out anywhere next year. Will be announced in public.
And as we know, hydrogen is one of the key energy sources for today and maybe also for tomorrow, the next generation.
Hydrogen would be very easy to adapt to all technologies, to all infrastructure that we have today. So hydrogen could be implemented everywhere.
That one is a huge example of a magnet generator. And I would like to invite you to tell something about the story, because it looks like a bunch of cable. And I don't know how many power that piece had. Do you remember?
Yes, no, it has something about 500 kilowatts. Sorry,
Yeah,
500 kilowatt. It's a magnet generator. The most difficult thing is the control unit.
As you see.
As you see, yeah. Unfortunately, this thing has demonstrated its work for a couple of days, and it's also in Southeast Asia. And before it could be presented really to public and to investors, Southeast Asia had a flood, and now the device was begraben, buried under 1.5 meters of mud.
Yeah.
So, and that was very bad. And now he needs a couple of $10,000 just to dismantle. He needs to dismantle everything completely to clean it and put it together. So,
actually, he needs to rebuild a new one out of the old one.
Yeah, he has to dismantle to see if what is broken, and everything could be used again usually, but it has to be dismantled and cleaned. However, let's take the next one.
Next one is pretty promising as well. You know, maybe some of you know the generator, which is the Yildiz generator, and we've been discovering Muammar Yildiz in the early days of that year, exactly. And that was actually our first invitation to Turkey. We saw that device. We have not been able to stop that. And it was also 2014, I guess I remember right, in the Netherlands, where that piece have been dismantled or has been dismantled.
Here in the University of Eindhoven.
Oh, in Eindhoven, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And it was proven.
It was in Delft.
In Delft.
Oh, Delft. Sorry, right.
You're right. And
this is one of the most fascinating things we ever saw. It's a magnet generator, and fascinating because it don't needs energy. It do not has any input, no external input. So we do not have a battery to start up. We do not have to plug it in. It starts just by releasing a force from a brake. Mm-hmm. Just releasing a brake, and it starts to turn. Very interesting. So the principle is fascinating. It's not ready yet to be marketed. Definitely not. There are engineering difficulties to solve or to overcome that will need some time, some money as usual. And yeah, it's not ready yet for marketing, but the inventor is constantly working on it and try to improve it. But the principle itself is fascinating. So he's just using the magnet force that is constantly there, and however he has constructed it inside, at that moment when he releases the brake, it starts to turn.
Push-pull of magnets. What is he using?
I'm sorry?
Push-pull of magnets.
Yes, the push-pull of magnets, right. And it was, to work with magnets, the Lorentz force is there. All of us know that. In every school you learn that there is the force, magnet force. But to use it, to find a way to pass each other, and because plus and minus has the same force. And that is the difficulty with magnets that we have. So it's a question of engineering how to turn this force into a rotation. And very interesting.
Finally, that particular generator ended up in a bigger housing. And this is a picture of Italy in this year. There was an event driven by a partner of the Inventor. And the mission was to have it run for 3 days. That did not happen, but in any case, it worked longer than every magnet generator ever, nearly 6 hours.
Yes, 6 hours 43 was the generator running. and it was intended to run at 72 hours, and it failed due to a stupid mechanical problem. It was in the inside of the generator there was an unbalanced force, and this unbalanced force raise up every minute a little bit, and after 6:43 it breaks.
I guess we're a little bit too detailed on these things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Just let's go a little bit faster. Infinity SAV, you may know as well, they are based in South Korea. You've actually personally been there about 200 days in 2017. Yeah. It was a long journey, also a very deep experience. And it was full of, can I say miracles sometimes? However, it also ended up in an island test that was 2019 as well. And also that test did not work out as they hoped. So it was for about 5 hours, I believe. Yeah, more or less 5 hours. And
it worked up. It worked. They had during this 5-hour island test, they had a difficulty. They have a temperature difficulty, heat difficulty with the control unit. But in general, the unit works.
Yes, the unit itself, of course. Yeah. But publicity understood it might not. So that was also a guy we met 2015. I mean, down there in Romania. I guess I'm right. And this is also a story where the wine and everything else was very good.
That's not so important.
That's not so important. We did some experiences as well. Out of our own house, out of our own group, actually, a small Bedini, we did Christopher did that in 2012. That was actually one of the first experiments we did internal of Gaia. That one is from Germany, 2016, 17, somewhere. It was based on the idea that water can turn faster. That one is pretty much exciting because it uses an anomaly of a gas, a very well-known gas. And if you put that gas under pressure, you have some effects, some side effects you can...
No, not pressure. It's CO2. I think it's not a secret. It's CO2. If you have CO2 in a liquid form at a certain temperature, and you increase the temperature, the CO2 expands by
3.5 times.
3.5 times. Yeah. 3.5 times.
The volume increases for 3.5 times.
Okay, the volume increased by 3.5 times, and this increasement just caused by a little bit of heat. You can if you build or if you connect it to hydraulic motors, you can use this phenomenon, and this technology was very interesting. At the moment, it's stuck a little bit due to legal reasons between the shareholders
and financial reasons,
of course, and financial reasons. But what was fascinating, the inventors took this known idea. Expansion of liquid to gas just by heat, minimize it and put it in a... Do we have the Audi here?
No.
Put it in an Audi Q5 and drove through Vienna for 40-50 kilometers.
That's right.
Fascinating. And filled up by a little bit of heat. Yeah. They come home connected to a heating device, to a heat exchanger, store some
reload
heat.
it.
Yeah, reload with some heat, and drove, I don't know, 40 or 50 kilometers through Vienna.
It was a very rainy day.
Yeah, but really fascinating. Yeah. Great. So, okay. And
that's your stage.
You see, inventors face these difficulties, not have enough money, and must produce failures, because every failure brings them one step further to the goal. There is no other way. So there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. And nobody knows that better than inventors. How are investors ticking? A wealthy investor who would be able to put money in something very interesting, he's not wealthy because he's investing in stupid ideas. I mean, he's wealthy because he's investing in ideas that bring a return of invest. And he has a bunch of consultants behind him to take care that he's not making stupid decisions. So he has tax advisors, he has lawyers, he has
whatever an office has.
investment bankers who are taking care where do you invest. So before an investor invests in something, he wants to have a return of invest, a rentability, a calculation, an Excel spreadsheet, and a proof that what was written here is true. So, and that is something inventors usually could not deliver. I mean, no, that's the biggest obstacle to overcome.
To put it on the table, the motivation of investors is to have no risk, because they potentially could lose money. Mm-hmm. So a side effect of some inventors is also, do they really look for investors or do they look for sponsors? Because the sponsorship, to open a sponsorship for an idea, to support an idea, is sometimes more easy than to give all your knowledge to somebody who expects zero risk. And on the other side, he want to make money, and he want to have 100% of the money turned into profit.
At least 300 is better.
Well, you're the economic guy. So all of these things we just discovered from Inventor's side are not coming out of one brain, but out of a group intelligence the inventor brings with him, the investor brings with him, sorry. So it's only one letter, inventor, investor. Sometimes I mix them up.
Mm-hmm. That's what an investor wants.
But it does not work. We know that. That's fine. That's fine. We have to look to go on.
Yeah. So the investor wants it all. He wants, the profit, the security, and the guaranteed return of invest.
On a long-term base.
On long-term base. So everything. And usually when an investor is approached by somebody who wants his money, the investor is expecting that one who approach him understands that also the same way, because he's living in his reality. I mean, of course I want to have a return of invest, and of course I want to have 100% profit. What do you think? I mean, that's the reason why I'm sitting here. So he expects that the other one knows that. And if you approach an investor, he's expecting, when you tell him...
Something like we show in the next video.
Yeah. If you present him a video, or he will tell you on the phone, give me a video of your invention. Show me what you have to sell.
Can you start that video, please?
Yeah.
Perfect.
What he is expecting, somebody wants his money, is something like this.
It's like a finished process. So this is the typical idea of when an investor will step in, that area.
No, he's expecting that you deliver this stage of development when you approach him. So he's approached by venture capitalists the whole day. And now an inventor called, and I have a good idea, and I'm nearly finished, I can produce. That's what he has in mind.
But this is what he usually gets. Can you start that video? So we got that. The question of the inventor was, you don't understand? That's truth, that's reality.
It's turning. It's turning.
And of course, my invention is ready. I have a free energy generator. I can make 1,000 megawatt, no problem. It's ready for the market. I just need finance.
That's no joke. That's a real video.
Yes. We got it.
And 90% of them are in that quality that we receive when we are approached. But it's understandable. I mean, this guy is working for 2 decades on his invention, and he knows every corner. He don't need a handy. He can describe it with folded eyes.
Yeah, he may have thought that we have looked through his eyes, but that don't work.
So, okay, yeah. The result of that is, anybody recognize the difference of the videos? I guess so.
Yeah, everybody's looking the world through his own eyes. So the key question is, and also the key question of our speech is, how to find the balance of that. It has been funny to talk about inventors. It has been funny also to talk about investors, but the real figure is how to find a balance. And we tried to establish a mechanism how both sides possibly could easier find together, and prepared some slides for you as well. It's essential. It's essential that both parties move one step into unknown area, because the inventor usually has only his small field, his garage, his labor, and the investor has the bigger field, the brighter field. He's living in a different world, and as I said earlier, speaking a totally different language, and we try to connect them. So let's see if I get the next slide. This was an example where I tried to find a balance. With Muammar Yildiz, it's not finished yet. We are in the process, but we've been taught very hard that both sides need to step further. And
the very important point for every inventor,
the motivation need to be clear first.
Yeah, and that is one of the most biggest obstacles that we are facing now here. The inventor needs to decide where he wants to go. What is his goal? And because you will never ever reach your goal if you do not want to know, if you do not know where you want to go. So you have to think about, and please, every inventor who is sitting here, think first. What is your goal? Where do you want to end up? Is your motivation money? I want to make money as fast as possible, as much as possible, because I've put everything what I have into this device, and it's time now that I get my deserved Belohnung. Awards. Yeah, that I get my deserved award. So think about it. What do you want? Is it the fast money, the cash as fast as possible, or is it something else? Is it?
Yeah. If it's the fast cash, then you should also address the right people.
Yeah.
That's one of these things relating very close to the goals. Because if it's not money, if it's maybe, hold on, that was the wrong direction. This one, if it's recognition, you have a total different audience, and your model is different. If you want to be part of the history books, if you want to be part of Wikipedia, if you want to be recognized not by your social environment but also by the global humanity, then you have to think in a different strategy. And you have also to look for other people to support you.
Yeah.
You have to build a brand. You have trademark, marketing, and the third one, which I consider the highest level, if you're motivated in humanity goals. You want to end up just deliver something without earning something.
The message of that is very easy. You as inventor, you have to decide in advance where you want to end up. If it's cash, I can tell you this way is the fastest. If it's recognition, forget that. You have to go this way. And if it's humanity motivations or reasons, then forget these two. You have to go there. So, I mean, for humanity, just click once.
Yeah.
It's very easy. Make an open source project. Go to Wikipedia, describe your project, put your drawings on, and hey, it's great. We will help you to promote. But forget money and forget big recognition, because I guarantee you will be forgotten. That's how it is. And
if you don't decide for one, but for two, we consider this as a problem.
No, that don't work. You have to decide in advance.
Ego.
Because we laughed a couple of minutes ago about the investor. He wants to have 100% security, no risk, 300% return of invest, and with this funny animal, the chicken, cow, pig,
However,
animal. So he wants everything, he wants all. The inventor is no different. There's no difference to the inventor. If the inventor could choose one of these three ways, money, recognition, or human motivation, it's fine. We can help him, and we can help him to show him the fastest way to get there. But if he chooses 2 or 3 in combination, that is ego, nothing more than ego. And I guarantee you, you will end up nowhere. Because there is no strategy to get all 3 together. If you, kannst du mal zurückgehen? If you are looking for money, then, okay, very easy. Let's find a customer who is looking exactly for a solution that you have to offer. If you have a 5 kilowatt generator, okay, we have the residentials. We have 40,000 orders from residentials with their own house who need heating, light, and they need 5 kilowatt. If you have a generator that only has 200 kilowatt, no problem. Let's build it into a fridge. A fridge is working with 200 kilowatt. We have in Africa, Southeast Asia, we have millions of people who need a fridge. Only a fridge. And we can show you 100 ways to make fast money, but forget the other things then.
he wanted to say watt, of course.
200 watt. For 200 kilowatt,
It's a cooling house, you know.
you have a strong fridge. Sorry, no, I don't know. If I said kilowatt, no, 200 watts.
Okay, so
Whatever you have, we will
through
find
that.
the right customer for it, and that's the fastest way to the money. Whatever you have, look for somebody who is in need for it. And this is the guy you have to address. Then you are making money.
So we clarified he need to choose his motivation.
Yeah, that is the most important point. Very first step, when we met an inventor, what do you want? Where do you want to go? And yeah.
And this is also the point where we founded, or me personally, I was part of the founding members of the Gaia Association in 2011, and we understood very fast that being an individual, you don't reach your goals. You won't reach. You need to partner. So it became very easy, very clear that you can only succeed together. And we jumped into that cold water, and we were surprised how many people felt the same way. So the association nowadays counts about 2,500 to 3,000 members, and even has a lot more subscribers. But all of them share the idea to be independent, or to become independent, or more independent, or reach a higher level of autarky. Autarky.
Who's speaking German?
Self-sufficiencies. Thank you very much. And we saw there is a workshop model you can do in associations. You can do face-to-face, so that if you want to build something, you do it with your own hands. And we also detected very fast, that was when Robert came on place, that there is another part of people. They don't want to do something. They just want to purchase something. Or you have even areas where you only can deliver something. So you need a turnkey solution as well. So the group of Gaia expanded. And then on the next level, the third one, the second from the right one, stays for the people that look for new projects, because we get nearly every week an invitation, go here, go there, I have an idea, please support.
Let's tell the story how it develops, how we met each other. Gaia is an association.
That's how it started.
Right, and Gaia was offering, they had a device.
An HHO device, workshop.
The HHO workshop, that's how I met them, where I met them the first time. But at that time, you had a contract for the kinetic power plant. And the idea was, we invite our members, or whoever wants to have it, we invite them, everybody pays, I don't know, certain amount for the hardware, and they are building in a workshop with the hardware they paid for, everybody is building his own power plant. That was the idea. And fantastic.
Because we had the prototype, We saw it. About 700 people have seen that. It was running for 10 days. It was ready to be marketed.
And at that time, I approached Gaia and said, okay, guys, workshop model is fine. I appreciate the effort and the way, but give me the hardware of the workshop model. Let me build it together and sell a turnkey unit to the people who are not able or too lazy or whatever to go to the workshop. And this combination of the idea of Gaia that hey, let's do something, let's move something, and do something together and make the world better, and the idea of we deliver turnkey into your house, that was very successful. We
Without any marketing.
No marketing at all. We developed in 18 months nearly 40,000 orders for this kinetic power plant. Crazy. And we are talking about a price of 15,750 euro each. So we have about 700 million euro in order books. Wow, what is happening here? Unfortunately, at that moment, the supplier of the kinetic power plant, the owner of the rights, said, okay, there's something happening. These guys are pretty successful, and also they receive a lot of inquiries. I mean, people with money show up and acquire them. They decide, okay, how to make the fastest way money. And we have the possibility.
So they knew their motivation very well.
Yeah, they knew their motivation. So they have to decide, do we continue with Gaia, small residential guys with 5 kilowatt demand, or should we just deliver to industry? And they made up the calculation, a 1 megawatt power plant has the same profit as 1,000 of these small residential guys.
But causes less headache.
If it's clever or not, I don't know. I mean, that's a different point of view. But they cancel the contract with Gaia. And they said, no, sorry, we are not delivering anymore. And we just focus on industrial power plants. At that moment, and that was very, very difficult situation, we have 40,000 customers, 700 million in order books, but no product. Disaster. That's where the last two icons are coming from. Okay, we decided then, okay, we have to search for a product. We have to travel around the world, visit inventors, collect a lot of flight miles, and to see interesting things, nonsense, but also highly unexplainable interested inventions.
And why did we do that? Because people put trust in us.
Yeah.
To just turn their heads and go somewhere else would be much easier. But I couldn't look in the mirror anymore. So it's a thing of inside, of outside, and in that entire scene, it's all about trust. It needs a long time to build it, and you can break it in one moment. Yeah. And we wanted to not break that trust. Because these are the ones that rely on us. These are the husbands, the fathers, and maybe also the business makers. These are people like you and me.
Yes, very important to understand Gaia's customers. We have a core customer area, and that is very, very clear defined. We are not looking for technologies to deliver to industry.
No.
That's not our part. We cannot change the infrastructure of the world.
And we do not want to.
Yeah, there are other people who can do that better,
yeah,
and much bigger organizations. We are looking for a solution just for families. Like you have, your parents had, your kids have maybe, the residentials solution.
The residential solution
something
is the
between
best case,
500 watt and 7, 8, 9 kilowatt. That's what we are looking for.
And that's why, just as a summarizing, what we achieved so far, I hope you all can read that a little bit, because Robert mentioned it earlier already. And it was quite a lot of work. And it's not a job. I wouldn't consider that a job, but it's a thing coming out of the heart still to move on, still not to give up, and to try very hard to try to build that bridge.
Very important again to understand. We are talking about 39,300 orders, 15,000 euro each, order book 618 million without marketing. Nobody have ever made from us some postings.
We never paid anybody for marketing.
Yeah,
no.
it's crazy, and because we do not have a product, we run around and we have 120 projects audited, tested, censored, and unfortunately we don't found a lot.
No, but I learned this is a common percentage. So
Yeah.
many people or many went stuck on 95 or 97, 98%, and then not get ready. So the next slide, I was told, to that direction.
So, what are
The basement, the visionary target values we call that. No fossils, no emissions, no grid dependency. Because if you depend, or if you have 10 or 20% in one of these circles, you'll not end up where we want to go.
Yeah, that is the Gaia goal. That is, as we can target very clearly our core customers, we can target our core projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the process. We want to show you how we potentially could connect these both worlds together. There's the technical step sequence, we call that behind. We divide that in 3 different areas.
Phases.
Yeah. Phases, yeah.
We are offering to every inventor all that what we have collected, all our 618 million euro turnover and 40,000 orders and another 400,000 orders within 3-4 months as soon as we have the product. We give that to every inventor.
Together with all the knowledge we collected.
Of course. Provided we pass these steps.
Exactly. But the first step, the so-called, we call proof of truth, is the first step the inventor has to take. The second one we do together, and the third one, we can decide how to do that. So how does it work? The proof of truth, how we call it, is not a simple prototype inspection, but it's the way like end consumers look at your product. An end consumer always believes there is something going on I don't believe. There is something, there are batteries inside, it won't work. I got an email that morning, it looks too good to be true. And we want to interact with the process how everybody could more easily believe that the size of the
it's
prototype.
It's very easy. The first step, give me a proof of truth.
It's true, Bill.
You have this bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And I do not want, as Gaia, I do not want to look inside the bottle. I do not care how it works. That is your business and should be your IP and stay your IP till we reach the goal you want to have. But if I'm not allowed to look inside, and I accept that and I appreciate that, we just have to consider all areas that are non-transparent as a potential battery storage. That's the easiest way. And that's what we are doing here. I mean...
Yeah, we did not perform a bottle, but we performed on a meter by meter by meter. And if that potential device is delivering more than 900 kilowatt hours on electricity out of that cubic meter, then is something inside we don't know.
You overjump something. We are measuring very easy, just watts by liter. So the energy density.
Yes.
So we are just taking this volume and said, okay, what could we put in and what we expect from you out? As soon you deliver that or you prove that, the proof of truth is for us, okay. And as example, a 1 cubic meter, 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, is 900 kilowatt. That's what we expect. Why we do that? Because a standard battery that you can buy anywhere in the shop, like let's say a Tesla Powerwall, has a energy density of 108 watts per liter. That is something everybody could buy. The next better battery, the next stage is an industrial battery. You also can buy, but
it's more expensive.
It's more expensive. That is 207 watts per liter. Here we have examples. And there are still existing batteries for very professional applications and defense applications who deliver up to 690 watts per liter. That is a lot. And that means, as a result, if you deliver, that's what Gaia tests there, if you deliver 900 watt per liter, you passed, definitely you passed the proof
All
of truth.
possibilities,
There is
yeah.
no question if it works or not. You have delivered 900 watt per liter, I do not need to look inside. You can cover this space or you can cover the whole stage, I don't care. We just calculate the dimensions. If you pass 900 watt per liter, we are fine.
That's it.
You
Yeah.
meet the criteria. And that's very easy. That's good for the inventor because he do not need to.
Open something you
Open
don't
anything.
want to open.
Yeah, and it's good for us.
It's a proof of truth, a simple
Yeah.
truth. The second one is a little bit more professional. It's a so-called proof of concept.
But that addresses do not addresses us anymore. This second stage addresses our customers.
Yes.
The 40,000 people behind us. They want to see a proof of concept.
And the possible investors. So could you please play that video? This is how we would like to do a proof of concept. We would like to provide a maximum on transparency, a maximum, so that everybody could go there, watch that entire scene, every inventor could put his device in there. It will not be connected to the out world, and it has run for a certain time. No matter if you talk for 3 days, 5 days, 14 days, it depends on the solution. But
Wait for the video. So the most important point is there are no angles, no hidden secrets. You should expect 15, 20 cameras around a glass room, and everybody must recognize very, very clearly
Expect
no
that.
inside cables, no outside cables. It's a closed room, including consumers
any
inside the
device.
room.
Exactly. So this is the scenario we would like to call proof of concept. You have the energy producing unit and you have the energy consuming units in one area with no connection to outside. And we would like to live stream that everybody can, as I said already, feel the maximum amount of transparency.
What is very important, with this kind of presentation, we are meeting everybody's demand. We are meeting the demand of the inventor not to show a trading secret, not to release a trading secret, how he's doing it. And we are meeting the demand of the customers who are not interested how it works. They are interested if it works. I mean, everybody of us is entering a car and driving a car, but how many of us do know how the motor functions? And it's not important. Yes, there are one or two who knows it maybe, but for us it's
In
not
general,
important.
not, no.
Yeah, we want to get from A to B. And with this scenario here, he could even get a certificate from us that he has a working over unity device. We are not trying to certificate the over unity of his device, but what we are doing is we are measuring the consumption of the consumers. We have lights, we have TVs, we have any work, any motor, something that consumes energy. And this we can measure. And if we measure the consumption during the 10 days, 14 days,
Whatever it takes, yeah.
we have the certificate that he needs because we can prove with 20 angles around that nothing is going in.
And
So-
that proof, any investor can show to his people behind and can make them believe because he does not have to bring he does not Botschaft?
Message.
Yeah, exactly. He does not deliver the message of truth. They can watch themselves. So this is the second sequence. The third sequence is that we together look for ways to scale that up. Because we have a market demand we know, we have told that already with that what we collected, and we have to go from the prototype, from a pre-serious prototype maybe, up to a normal prototype, which is professional R&D assisted. Then we have maybe a pre-serious, then you have an alpha, a beta series, and later on you go in mass production. So that means you stand up from, or you start from the level from a prototyping, which is maybe like that, controlled by your own, up to that level, which can deliver a lot of products. And the pre-ordered customers we show here are real values. So these are our numbers.
What is
Just to have that said.
What is very important, there are so many customers who are waiting for a solution. We have this scenario how to market it. We have this scenario how to prove it, and you need to prove it always for not only for an investor, but for the final customer, because that are the guys who are creating the market the investor is looking for. And ja, mach mal weiter. The investors that we have are looking.
They are willing to not only to invest money, they are also willing to move something on that. And they know that there are some risks, some side effects maybe. But they also know that if they step in a very early stage, they can earn the hell of a lot of money. But they need some party between. They need some party between. And how the process in detail works, that can be discussed after we finish the first and the second segments of testing. How big the market is.
In this whole thing of free energy devices, very important for everybody to understand, there is no space for greedy. The market is so incredible huge. And this is just a small example to understand what is happening. So in Germany, for example, we have 80 million people living. 80 million people. In this 80 million people, we have 3.5, 3.6 small and very small enterprises. Moment weiter. We have private-owned homes, 15 million. This is just 1 and 2 family homes. Ein weiter. All that results in the demands of 18.9 million units. So, because with energy, with electricity, you can make heat, of course. You can run your heating device. That's just a statistical figure. 23.5% of the population overall, need a heating device. So a heating device in Germany is exchanged every 20 years. That means that is from this 18.9 million devices that are needed, every 20 years they are exchanged. So
we end up in 1 million units only in Germany in 1 year.
946,000 units every year are needed in Germany only. Every year.
Consider Europe, consider Asia, consider some other countries. The market is bigger than
unbelievable. So our 40,000 units that we have is peanuts. So how we see the world, yeah.
Exactly. Could you play the last video? Could you play the last video?
Just 50 seconds.
What is life about? Love, home, you and your crazy ideas, your autonomy, your independence, your vision of the future. I want to tell you a story from the future, a future with a revolutionary idea, a future where electricity is something autonomous, regardless of wind, water, or the sun, a future in which we generate our own electricity, completely autonomous. We at Gaia Projects are convinced. It is time for the future. The world is ready. Welcome to the future. Welcome to Gaia.
That's the only marketing we did.
Yeah.
That's really the only marketing we did. So
that's our message. Producing energy is a fundamental right, and we want to encourage.
I want that everybody read and understand that, because it is a fundamental right. Because energy is the most relevant resource we do have, and we can do things with. If we have enough of electricity, we can do incredible things. So whomever would like to join the process, whomever would like to step in or has questions, highly welcome. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your attention at home. And yeah, that was our hour.
Thank you. The cameras are off now. What is that?